Sometimes being frugal can be so much work. So today I'm coming straight at you with 30 effortlessly frugal tips that you can incorporate into your life to save money and live the most frugal life. Now, some of these are super easy to do. It'll only take you 5 minutes tops. Others have a little bit more effort that you need to put in it, but on the grand scheme of things, they're all a piece of cake. Hi everybody, my name is Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you don't know me, I'm the owner of FrozenPennies.com. I'm a financial coach, and as a family, we are debt-free. Let's jump right into number one. Number one, skip specialty items that only one or two people in the house like. For example, my husband and my youngest son like hot dogs. My older son and I don't really do hot dogs. So instead of buying the hot dogs and the hot dog buns, why not opt for something else? Maybe brats or sausage. That way the entire family can enjoy them and you're not only spending money on just something for one or two people in the house. Also, sausage and brats are much more universal. So if you have sausage or brats left over from your meal, you can put them in spaghetti sauce. You can chop them up and stir fry them with some rice. So many other options than hot dogs than just sticking them in a bun. Number two, keep a slow living, low maintenance type of lifestyle. The cost of high maintenance lifestyle and high maintenance luxury self-care can really drain your wallet. Now, I read this really great book in praise of slowness. It's such a fantastic book. It gives you a different outlook at slowing down, having a more relaxed, more slow-paced lifestyle. Everybody is always in a rush, and the reflections that this slow-paced lifestyle can have on other areas of your life absolutely includes your finances. If you want to live a more frugal life, try slowing down just a little bit. Slowing down will also allow you to not have to be so rushed, so you're relying on drive-thrus or convenience foods, for example. Number three, now this is probably going to push some buttons, and I do apologize in advance. Don't get a pet. If you already have a pet, you understand the costs associated with having a pet. The smaller the pet, the less you're going to pay. The bigger the pet, the more it's going to cost you. Now, I have had in my adult life one pet. I had a dog. We loved our Bella. She was a black lab. She was the sweetest. She passed away, but I understand the costs associated with having that pet. If you're in debt and you're trying to get out of debt and you don't have the money to meet your basic necessities now or pay off your debt or save for your future, then getting a pet just isn't going to help that. You're going to accrue the costs of having a pet. If you need some fuzzy interaction, go to somebody's house who has a cat or a dog and soak up all of their pet frenzies. My oldest son and daughter-in-law have a beautiful yellow lab named Brooke. She is the sweetest and the ditziest and the most loving pup ever. So when I need a dog fix, I just go over there and hang out with Brooke. Number four, don't bring your husband shopping with you. My husband is the worst at putting snacks and treats into the grocery cart. He's terrible. I spend at least $50 more every time I take him grocery shopping. The funny thing is, we were in Home Depot the other day, and we had some stuff that we needed. We needed a dehumidifier because everybody's experiencing the heat wave, even upstate New York, and the humidity is so bad, and our dehumidifier in the cellar, kaput. Died. So we had to go buy a new dehumidifier. Now that's a pretty decent chunk of money, but then we also had some other things that we needed to pick up there for the garden and the watering system. It was a pretty big bill, and my husband made the joke. He said, every time I take you to Home Depot, we end up spending twice as much money as we normally do. Now the cashier of course didn't get it, but I gave him an evil eye, and we laughed about it later. It's just the opposite. Every time I bring him someplace, we end up spending more money than we budgeted for. Speaking of budgets, don't forget to grab your free, downloadable, printable budget planner. I'll leave a link below. Number five, batch cook whenever you can. This way, you're putting in the energy and the time and the effort at one time, and then you're effortlessly being frugal down the road. Now, You could do this 2 different ways. You can take 1 day a month and just batch cook a whole bunch of stuff for the entire month and put it in the freezer. You can do it during the week as well, 1 day for the whole week, and have all of the meals planned, or you can do like I do. If I'm making rice, for example, I'll make a double batch of rice and then I'll throw the rice that we aren't using right in the freezer in separate containers. I do the same thing with, say, pasta or casseroles. I'll make a double batch casserole. I'm cooking 1 casserole anyway. It's not really that much effort to make 2 and throw it in the freezer. The same thing goes with browning ground beef or marinating chicken. Do 1 time and then freeze or hold on to more of that for future meals down the road. Number 6. I loved this idea. I thought it was a fantastic idea. Create a Facebook group for your friends and family to post things in before they get rid of it, throw it away, or donate it. You never know when somebody might be able to use it. Ask your best friends, Rita and Lisa, if they want to join the group. Maybe grab your neighbors, Michelle and Heather, to join the group too. Also ask Aunt Carol and Uncle Frank if they want to join as well. This way you're not spending money on stuff that you could use. You're getting rid of stuff instead of donating it to Goodwill, and it's taking on a new purpose in somebody else's house. Also, Uncle Frank wants me to remind you guys to subscribe. If you like this kind of video, hit that bell for the notifications so you can be notified when a new video comes out. And thank you so much for joining the Frozen Pennies community. Number 7, allow for fun. This is so important when you're living a frugal lifestyle, because if you pull back too much and you get too extreme, then you're going to feel deprived, and deprivation is the key to downfall when it comes to a budget. So make sure that you're putting in 1 line of your budget just for fun. Don't be too extreme and too stingy, but when you're looking at fun, spend with intention. Number 8, this is so hard. Spend less time on your phone looking at what everybody else is buying. Social media is the key platform for trying to keep up with the Joneses. That is a very overused phrase, but it's true. And places like Instagram and TikTok are showcasing what everybody else is doing in their life. And you know that a lot of that stuff is a little extravagant just for social media purposes. So if you can not look at your phone as much, even 10% less, it's going to help you be a little bit more frugal. Because you also know that those ads are coming up all the time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that Instagram has pulled me right in and given me an ad for something for children. And I've even noticed that they're using the terms grandchildren because for some reason, those third-party cookies are tracking me and they know I have grandchildren. So they're pushing those really cool art supplies for grandchildren. So spending less time on your phone will save you money and allow you to be that much more frugal. Number 9, embrace decluttering and organization. I am on a mission this summer because August we are having a town-wide garage sale, which is the best time in our town to have a garage sale. I want to get rid of like 50% of all the stuff that I have. The cellar is busting at the seams. I'm ready to get rid of the stuff. I want to embrace a more simple and more minimalist lifestyle because we just don't need all of the things that we have. If you have an organized space, then you're going to be able to find much easier the things that you're looking for. In return, you won't have to go rebuy them because you can't find them. If you know that your Scotch tape goes in the junk drawer, let's not call it a junk drawer, let's call it a utility drawer. The tape goes in the utility drawer and you know where it is every single time. So then you know when it runs out and you need to replace it. If you can't find the tape and it's all willy-nilly stuck in a cabinet or drawer someplace, then you're going to go buy more, which is not going to save you money. It's going to cost you money. And how many times are you going to buy the same roll of Scotch tape? If you're interested in a video on how I'm tackling this big project in my house about all the decluttering and getting rid of stuff, Let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can make that happen for you. Number 10, grocery shop less often. I have a friend of mine who is a teacher, and she stops at the grocery store every single evening on her way home from work to get food for that night. You can't tell me that if she didn't meal plan ahead, grocery shop, do a grocery pickup once a week, that she wouldn't spend significantly less money on her groceries than she is right now. We tend to grocery shop when we need to in this house, which really means sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's every other week. Sometimes I can go 2 or 3 weeks without grocery shopping because we have enough stuff in our house. I have a grocery list on my phone that when I know I need to grocery shop, I can go, or I'll just pull up the Walmart app and add it to my cart when we're running low on it. So when we have enough in the cart and we see that we really do need to go grocery shopping, we can go. Way back when, even pre-pandemic, I was doing a one big huge haul, one grocery shop a month. I would get everything that I needed for the month. I would get some fresh fruits and vegetables, some frozen fruits and vegetables. I would freeze the breads and the milks that I would need for the rest of the month, and I had it down to a science. I could nail it. However, I stopped doing that because, gosh, it was just exhausting for me. And as I've gotten older, I realized that I don't really want to do that anymore. But boy, did I save some money. Even if you normally grocery shop once a week and you could stretch it out to once every 2 weeks, that's going to benefit you and save you a little bit of money. Number 11, consider dyeing your clothes. So if you have a bunch of black clothes, I have a bunch of black clothes in my closet. I can see my black section because, yeah, I color coordinate my closet. A lot of them I find are starting to fade because as you wash them over and over again and dry them, put them in the dryer over and over again, they tend to fade. So I'm going to take all of those black clothes that have faded and re-dye them black just for a quick refresh. If you have items that have stains or spots on them, consider throwing them in to dye them. So for example, if you have a light pink shirt with a stain on it, consider dyeing it a darker pink or even a red to see if that will get you a few more years wear out of it. Number 12, always, always, always. Every single time you leave the house, bring a snack and a bottle of water every time. Now I have in my purse, I have a protein bar, which I don't really eat, but my husband tends to like the protein bars. So when we're out and about, I always have one there. And I have a couple of meat sticks in there. I also always carry my bottle of water. I don't ever leave the house without my water bottle. It's very important to me to not have to stop someplace to eat. A couple of reasons. First of all, I don't want to spend the money because most of the time the food is subpar. And 2, I'm really paying attention to the kinds of food that I put in my body. My husband insisted the other day to stopping at Dunkin' Donuts on our way home from Home Depot. And I passed. I was so strong. I was so good. I didn't have anything. They're blueberry muffins with that sugar on top. Delicious. I stayed strong. I said no thanks. He got something to eat and I drove home and had some food there. Also, if you have those snacks to nosh on, you're never going to go to the grocery store hungry. Going to the grocery store hungry will definitely raise your grocery bill, I'd say, at least 20-25%. Number 13, keep an eye on subscriptions. Not only keep an eye on your entire bank account, which is something that I do every day, but also keep an eye on those subscriptions. I have found that I was overwhelmed with subscriptions that I wasn't even using. So the other day, I actually got rid of 4 or 5 subscriptions that we weren't using anymore. I tend to switch out my subscriptions. Sometimes I'll have Hulu, sometimes I'll have Disney, sometimes I'll have Netflix, sometimes I'll have Peacock, sometimes I'll have Paramount, sometimes I'll have Apple. I switch them up depending on what it is that I want to watch. But if you don't keep an eye on those subscriptions, even on your iPhone, sometimes you get an app that's just a trial and you find that you've been billed for months worth of $29.99 for this app that you're not even using. So keep a close eye on those and cancel if you're not getting any value out of it. Number 14, try using a little bit less of everything. Now I'm doing this little experiment to see how little shampoo I can put in my hand and still get my hair cleaned. I'm down to like a pea-size shampoo twice. So I wash my hair twice, once to get rid of all the deep grime and once just to make sure it's clean. But I'm using a pea-size shampoo. And I'm not exaggerating here. It literally is the size of a pea. Not the sweet peas, not the tiny little mini peas, but a regular size pea. And my hair is getting just as clean. The same goes for things like laundry detergent. How much less laundry detergent can you get away with when washing your clothes and still getting your clothes clean? Now they do say that the agitation cycle on the washer is what really cleans your clothes. I'm not sure about that. I do know that I've heard that some people will only wash their clothes with detergents once every 3 times and their clothes are perfectly fine. You might want to play around with some of these theories and see what you can get from it. Also, toothpaste. A small amount of toothpaste. You do not need that big thick ribbon that you see on a toothbrush in commercials. It's too much. You do not need that much. Or how little toothpaste can you get away with brushing your teeth and still having it be effective. You can also add water to a lot of things if it makes you feel a little bit more strategic. Number 15. Are you aware that there are a lot of libraries around the country that allow you to have a non-resident library card? Well, what does this mean? This means that if you don't live in Springfield, Massachusetts, you can still get a Springfield, Massachusetts non-resident library card. So if you are an e-reader and you have a non-resident library card to say 4 or 5 different places, that can open up the amount of books that you can borrow without waiting. So if you have your eye on, say, a bestseller right now, and your local library doesn't have it available, you would have to go onto a waiting list. But if you have multiple libraries that you can choose from, it might be significantly less, or they might even have it available. Because some of the bigger libraries, like the New York City Public Library, for example, has a much more robust choices, and many times they have multiple copies, much more than my little town library might have, of that book. Although the population is bigger, you might get lucky and be able to get that book faster. For me, sometimes waiting for a book is almost a form of torture, and I tend to go buy the e-book copy from Amazon if I'm too impatient. So having multiple libraries to choose from will allow me to maybe be a little bit more patient. I'm going to leave a link below in the description because I have a whole article on a lot of places that offer non-resident library cards. So I'll leave that below so you can go check it out. Number 16, set up direct savings. It takes like 5, 10, 20 minutes tops to set up direct savings, whether it be right from your paycheck or from your checking account into a savings account the minute that your check hits your bank. Once that initial setup happens, you never have to worry about it again. Out of sight, out of mind. And if you want to take that a step further, consider putting that money into a high yield savings account. I have Capital One, and right now the interest on that is 4.25, which is so much more than the less of 1% that my credit union is giving me. Number 17, freeze food before it goes bad. Now this really does depend on how you eat food in your house, but if you have a little bit of something left over in your refrigerator, throw it in the freezer. My mom used to do this great thing, and I've adopted her habits here, of freezer soup. So if she has a little bit of corn left, a little bit of peas, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of sausage, she throws it all into this one big bowl in the freezer. When the bowl is full, she'll add some stock, some broth, and make soup out of it. You can throw anything in there, pasta, rice, meat, vegetables, whatever you want goes in the bowl. It makes a unique soup every time. Also, the same goes for fruit. We know that fruit tends to go bad fast. So if you notice that some of those strawberries are looking a little sad and you don't want them to go bad, cut them up, clean them, and throw them in a zip container. You can use them for desserts or smoothies down the road. Number 18, consider a separate email address for promotional emails. So when you're doing some shopping online for something, use that email address. That way, all the promotional emails don't get mixed in with your regular emails, tempting you to buy when you don't need something. You can always go to this promotional email when you're ready to shop to see if they've given you any deals or coupons or discounts. I love this idea. I'm constantly unsubscribing to things in my regular email address because it looks too cluttered and I don't like that. So having a separate email address just for promotions and shopping sounds like it would be an excellent idea. Number 19. When you're going to a store that you tend to overspend in, either set a timer or go when you don't have a lot of time or you're in a rush. For me, I always feel like I'm in a rush because I batch all of my errands into one day, but I find that if I don't have a lot of time to browse through Target, if I'm not stopping for a grande soy latte at Starbucks and then meandering my way through the aisles just looking at things, I won't spend nearly as much money. I'll just go in, get what I need to get, and get out because I don't have enough time. I got 5 other places to go before my son gets off of the bus at 2 o'clock. Number 20, never, ever, ever pay full price unless you absolutely have to. This goes across the board. Wait for a sale. Use coupons, use discounts, use Rakuten to find coupon codes, or Honey. Whatever it takes, don't ever pay full price for anything. Even if you're in a furniture store and you want an entirely new set of living room furniture, ask the sales associate if he can give you a better deal. Is there a discount on this? Is there a way to get some money taken off? Is there a sale coming up that I could wait for? Sometimes if you say you're looking for a deal and you'll wait for a sale, they want to make that sale right away because they work on commission, so they're going to give you a better price. We were in Home Depot the other day and my husband was looking for a shrub to cover up our pool pump area. We're building our little landscaping area around that pump to cover it up. There was a nice looking shrub there. It was $35, but every single one of those shrubs had brown on it. So when we mentioned it to the cashier that this was the best looking one and it still had brown on it, she gave us a discount. We ended up getting it for $18. We didn't even ask for a discount, but we mentioned that they were all turning brown over there and she, out of the goodness of her heart, gave us that discount. The point is, it's not going to hurt to ask. They may say, no, we have nothing for you, but it's not going to hurt to ask. Number 21, invest a small amount into a programmable thermostat. Now, we love our programmable thermostat. It's a Honeywell. It's very inexpensive. I just noticed they're like $30 now. Not a bad deal at all. That $30 investment and learning how to switch those out will save you significantly on your heating and cooling costs because you can program it. If you're not home all day, why have the temperature all the way down to 68 degrees in the summer if you're not even there? Number 22, make sure you know what you're buying when you're buying online. This is a mistake that I have made way too much. When I'm on Amazon looking for something and I pick it out and I purchase it and then I get it home and it's much smaller than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was getting a good deal on these outside Christmas ornaments and they ended up being this big instead of a life-size deer. Highly disappointed. They went back, but I wasted time and money ordering them. Read the measurements and also read the reviews because people will give you feedback. Even though some people say those reviews are bought and paid for, there are many reviews in there that are genuine, real people. So read the reviews and it'll give you a lot of feedback on what you're purchasing. Number 23, eliminate anything disposable. From paper towels to napkins to razors to K-cups. Get rid of them. Eliminate them and opt for reusable products. This is going to save you money and it's really not a lot of effort. Once you start switching out things gradually, you're not going to spend a lot of money. I would never want you to just go buy everything right now and just ditch everything. But if you do it little by little, just swapping those out when you have a little bit of extra money, you're going to find a drastic reduction in this amount of money that you are spending for these things. And I have some beautiful silicone Ziploc bags that are reusable that I could use. And also, There's nothing wrong with marinating chicken in a glass bowl. We also have some fantastic cloth napkins that we use on a daily basis. So I haven't bought paper napkins in years. My oldest son thinks it's kind of funny when I pull out the cloth napkins. He says it's like we're so fancy. Number 24, consider what it means to actually afford something. Now, I heard this on a different video and I found the concept really fascinating. Consider how many hours that you have to work in order to pay for that. Consider what you might have to do and are willing to do to be able to afford it. Will purchasing this thing run the risk of not being able to pay for something else, going into the negative on your checking account and then being charged a fee? Will that be worth the time that you have to put in to pay for that thing? Number 25. Understand the connection between emotion and overspending. This is huge. The majority of the time when we overspend on something, there's a direct correlation to the way that we are feeling. And every emotion could be connected to overspending. If you're in a great mood and you just got a raise and you want to celebrate, you go out to a big dinner, you go shopping. If you're feeling depressed or sad about the fact that you can't lose this weight no matter what do? You go buy a new outfit to make yourself feel better. If you're looking on social media and everyone is going on spring break, well, you're going to go out and get a new credit card or a personal loan just so you can feel better and go on vacation. How many of us are mindlessly scrolling because we're bored and end up buying something? Understand the feelings that are associated with overspending. And when you're feeling the feelings, try to express how you're feeling before you spend. 26. Take full advantage of the 24 to 48 hour waiting period when you're getting ready to buy something. Put it in your cart, let it sit, take a beat, take a breath, go back to it 1, 2, 7, 28 days later, and see if it's something that you really need. This works really great for just the shopping that we do to fill a void or express emotions specifically. If it's something that you really need, say for example, you have a pool and you just got a huge hole in your bathing suit because you spilled chlorine all over it, then you're gonna need a new bathing suit. I'm not talking about those instances. I'm talking about the times that we're just scrolling our phone because of whatever emotional reason, and we're throwing things in our cart. Just leave them in a cart. Take advantage of the rule and take a beat and take a breath and come back to it later. Number 27, only buy things that you truly love. If you're looking for a white blouse and you're shopping and you just don't see anything that you truly love, it doesn't mean buying just because you need a white blouse. It means waiting to find the things that you truly love. Especially when it comes to clothes. I know absolutely for me, I only wear 20% of my clothes 80% of the time. And it also goes for things like furniture or even cars. If you're ready to make big purchases like a car, don't buy a car because you feel like you need a new car and you're ready for a new car. Buy the car that you truly love and that it's practical and fits your needs. This also means that if, for example, you truly love that Dyson vacuum and you really want one of those Dyson vacuums, I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm saying to wait and save your money. Instead of buying the cheaper stick Shark vacuum, save your money and give it a little bit more time and then buy the Dyson vacuum that you truly love. 28, connected to all of this stuff, don't buy just to buy. In this video above, the 20 things that I'm not buying anymore, I dive deep into the things that I do love that I'm not willing to give up and the things that just don't hold value for me anymore. And there's no reason for me to spend the money. There's a little meme that goes around Facebook I see all the time. It says, I just heard a mom say to her daughter in Target, we don't buy things just to buy things. And I think that resonates with so many women that we don't have to buy things just to buy things. We only buy to replace the things that we need. 29, choose quality over quantity. I am a firm believer that I'd rather have 10 shirts in my closet that are quality and will last me forever rather than 25 shirts that just don't do anything for me, that are going to rip, that have started to wear that have holes in them, that have faded. I rather have quality items that can last me forever rather than quantity. I'm experiencing this with couches right now. We have couches that are 7 years old and they're ripped. They're leather, but the underneath, the underarm of it is vinyl. And I didn't realize this when I bought it. And all of that vinyl is ripped and cracked and peeling. It makes me crazy. The stuffing of the couch has collapsed. So when you sit in the couch, you sink way too deep. I was so upset because I really do value quality over quantity, which means now we're looking at new couches and I do not want to spend the money on couches that are only going to last me 5 more years. And lastly, something that I have to practice a little bit more. When you buy something and you bring it home or you have it delivered and it's not what you want, send it back or take it back to the store. Don't let it sit in the back of your car or on your porch for way too long where now you can't send it back because the time window has closed. Make the effort, the little bit of effort, to send it back or take it back when you're out running your errands. Okay, those are my 30 ways to effortlessly or almost effortlessly save money and live a much more frugal lifestyle. I hope these are some new ideas for you. Maybe you picked up 1 or 2 that you'd never heard before. I know that I did. Thank you so much for watching and I truly appreciate you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.